Hey, what's up everyone, you good? This is Hyunmin Jung from HMJ Photography. Today, I'm gonna talk about my new camera, Leica M11 Monochrom. So, much better. It's been about 3 weeks since I first got this Leica M11 Monochrom, and since then, I've been exclusively using this camera. Well, in the future, I'm gonna make even more detailed video about this camera, but today, I wanted to share some of my initial thoughts. The first thing I thought about when I first held this camera was about the weight. I was like, oh my god, this camera is so much lighter than my Leica M10. So I googled it and found out that this Leica M11 Monochrom weighs 542 grams with the battery. And this Leica M10 weighs 660 grams with the battery. So I don't know what you're gonna think about this difference, but for me, it feels quite significant. And also recently, I've been having some pains caused by hernia. So yeah, having a lighter camera is very nice. Next, design. Well, you know that Leica M cameras haven't really changed their designs since their first Leica M camera, Leica M3, which was made in 1954. Well, except for Leica M5, which gets a lot of hate, but personally, I think it's a wonderful camera. But one thing design-wise that changed a lot is the lack of baseplate. Well, up until Leica M10, all the Leica M cameras had the baseplate that comes off like this, film or digital. But since the Leica M11, it doesn't have the baseplate, and if you want to take out the battery, you just go like this and press it a little bit. Voila. And there's also the SD card right in there. I heard that a lot of Leica lovers hated this, that it doesn't have the base plate. And personally, I wouldn't complain about it. I think it's convenient. But at the same time, I kind of miss having good old base plate. But again, I wouldn't complain about it. As for camera strap, I'm actually using this strap that came with the camera. Usually, I don't really use the strap that comes with the camera because, usually when you get that strap, it says Canon or Sony or Nikon. And I don't like it. I don't want to advertise which camera I'm using to other people. But this one, I'm not completely in love with it, but unless you look very closely, you wouldn't know that this strap is from Leica, and it's nice leather. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think it's just okay. And I wish it was a little bit longer. And yeah, but it's okay. Usually I just hang it out on my neck like this, and when I'm actually shooting, I wrap it around my wrist like this, and like this or like this. Yeah, so nothing too special, not bad. Well, actually, I'm thinking about getting the Craft neck strap, but it's kind of expensive, so yeah, I'm gonna take a little bit longer to really think it through. Probably the biggest advantages of using this camera is the high ISO performance. And what I can tell you is that it's amazing. So this camera can shoot up to ISO 200,000. Well, I wouldn't recommend you shooting at that, but personally, I loved it at about ISO 32,000. Compared to 200,000, 32,000 may sound like it's not much, but hear me out. Up until like when I used this Leica M10, I would very hesitantly go up above 3200. I mean, before this camera, I would hesitantly go up above 1600. But with this Leica M11 Monochrom, I would happily use ISO 32,000. The grain you get, I mean, of course, you would get some grain, but that grain feels very natural, as if I shot with a film camera using Kodak Tri-X. So with ISO 32,000, what you can do is, like, let's say you set the f-stop to 8 and the shutter speed to like 125 or like 250 in nighttime. So yeah, basically you can freeze the moment in the dark. Lastly, what I want to talk about with this Leica M11 Monochrome is the battery life. Yeah, it feels like it can go on forever. Like with one battery, I'm sure you're good to go for a couple of days with somewhat intense shooting. Yeah, but if I were you, I would pack one more battery just in case. The time it took to turn on this camera was actually kind of longer than I wished, but it didn't matter so much because when I was like actively shooting, I just never turned off the camera. Well, it has a huge battery life. Why not use it? So, overall, so far I love this camera, Leica M11 Monochrom. I love it to the point where I'm starting to think that I don't really need another still camera for life. That's how much I love this camera. Because everything works wonderfully to me, and it's very difficult for me to think that I would need something more than 60 megapixels. Oh, and one thing I almost forgot to talk about, but something that really impressed me is the sound of the shutter. Well, you have to hear this. So this is Leica M10. And this is Leica M11 Monochrome. Do you want me to do it again? Okay. This is Leica M10. And this is Leica M11 Monochrome. I know. Crazy, right? Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time.